good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. My name is Christian, and I'm here with my colleagues Jake and Ella to present the religion of Haiti Vodou. So Vodou, also known as Voodoo or Vodou, translates to spirits or deity. The word Voodoo originates from the Fon language of the kingdom of Dahomey, which is present-day Benin. The word was coined as long as 6,000 years ago. The Vodou religion is the result of the merging of multiple West African religions and Roman Catholicism. This includes Dahomey, Congo, Yoruba, and other ethnic people who had been enslaved and forcefully imported into the French colony of Saint Dominique, which is now the independent country called Haiti. The other slaves in the Caribbean, the Saint Domingue slaves, were in a risk and unusual situation at the time. They were purchased from the several ports in Africa, coming from the variety of countries that the slaves, dealers, and owners referred to as nations. Once arriving in the new land, these groups of people were supposedly evangelized by Roman Catholic missionaries in the 16th and 17th centuries, and they were forbidden from practicing their own religion. However, what actually happened was more of a combination of two religions. While some slaves could understand one another's native tongues, others could only speak the growing Creole language of the islands. Followers of the Vodou religion frequently have different opinions. Some consider themselves Catholics, while others viewed Catholic traditions as nothing more than outward rituals. They may occasionally gather as specific Africans, and at other times may join with Africans from the other nations, or join with Creole, which was the American-born slaves. African slaves and their descendants built areas of worship on plantations, in towns, and in Myron settlements, modifying their religion for the New World. The majority of the time, they did it quietly and hidden away from plantains and administrators who would have recorded their activity. Voodoo is very much a worldview that pertains to religion, but it's also a worldview regarding philosophy, medicine, and justice. In short, the Voodoo worldview is based on the fact that everything is spirit. The invisible world of Voodoo has Iwa, which means spirits, Mystère, meaning mysteries, Invisible, meaning the invisibles, and Zanji, meaning angels. Humans are also considered to be spirits that are able to inhabit the visible world. Deceased humans also populate the hidden world with their spirits. Jinan is the name of the fantastic land in which these spirits live. It's like Africa in hidden dimension. Christian God is believed to be the creator of all spirits and even the universe in its entirety. They believe that God created these spirits to help him guide society and the rest of the natural world.
Unlike other famous worldviews, Voodoo is ambiguous in defining exactly what is the major problem in human life. To be considered a worldview, Voodoo must have been initiated to solve a particular problem in human life. The slaves in Saint Domingue practiced their rituals hidden from the public eye to feel liberated from their current oppression. Therefore, at the time of this religion's initiation, persecution committed towards Saint Domingue slaves was the main problem to be solved. Voodoo is an oral tradition, meaning it does not have a primary holy text like the Bible, but instead relies on passing down and sharing experiences, so Vodouisans can keep practicing the religion. It also means that there are no set ways or textbook laws by which they should abide. There can be no one concluded problem in human life, according to Vodou presently. It is up to Vodouisans to decide why there is suffering for themselves and realize that they can all come together and collectively solve their problems through Vodou. The slaves of Saint-Domingue created new types of religious coherence in their fight to come together despite their differences, bringing together rituals and giving them a revolutionary meaning. Slaves came together through rituals in order to interact with the invisible world through the Iwas in the pursuit of liberation during the Haitian Revolution. Vodou practitioners consult their spirits during rituals and observances to seek guidance, protection, or help. The relationship is reciprocal. Followers must take care of the Iwa, known as spirits, by engaging in ceremonies, some of which involve animal sacrifice. Other ceremonies provide devotees a chance to express gratitude to the spirits for favors, protection, or good fortune. Followers must also conduct themselves correctly in accordance with both societal and religious customs in order to maintain good ties with the Iwa. In this sense, practicing Vodou might affect a person's regular choices and actions. Followers value their relationship with spirits a lot that they call themselves servants of the spirits, as an English translation to serviteur in Creole or serviteur in French. Generally, people who practice Vodou are known as Vodouisans or Vaudouisans in French. Many of Vodou's ceremonies, especially those that involve the sacrifice of live animals, are focused on respect and peace, despite the fact that some people equate it with evil. The community's religious leaders take on leadership roles and serve as mediators for conflicts, and leaders often provide traditional medicine as a sort of medical treatment. Most practitioners, including priests known as Ougang and priestesses Mambo, devote their practice to serving and caring for others. Some Vodou believers think that by forming a connection with the Iwa, it is possible to solicit their counsel and gain insight from their previous experiences. Many people will exclusively connect with these ghosts on a spiritual level, and this is accomplished by body swapping, sometimes known as spiritual possession. The Bible views spiritual possession as a devilish deed and as heinous. However, spiritual possession is welcomed in Vodou, not feared. Now you might be wondering this: what does it mean to be possessed? This implies that the individual accepts the Iwa into themselves, losing consciousness and awareness of all mental and physical faculties. The possessed person loses control of their body, along with their memories and vision. This experience can also be beneficial for other ritual participants. Talking to the possessed can also be beneficial to other attendees of the ceremony who think they are talking to the Iwa because of their experience.
The German philosopher Albert Schweitzer, in his book called The Decay and Restoration of Civilization, observed how an acceptable worldview must have three properties. Starting with rational. Many can argue that Vodou as a religion and a worldview is far from rational. A worldview that is considered rational uses reason and evidence when solving problems in human life. Vodou is ambiguous in this matter. Its solution to oppression was a revolt. However, considering what led to the revolt, the rationality of the worldview is more recognizable. The Haitians underwent a century of oppression by being enslaved and revoked of their freedom to act. This oppression, which later led to a political revolution, is evidence of what had advanced the unification of Haitians. The way they felt the most united and free as a nation was through Vodou rituals. And this was the only thing they managed to have in common, since they all originated from various parts of Africa. Therefore, the rise of Haitian Vodou as a religion is reasonable and acceptable. The next criteria that makes an acceptable worldview is whether it is ethical or not. Vodou is a virtuous worldview, and one that is mostly made to help its followers become better human beings. Believers simply complete rituals and ceremonies in order to receive from God. Protection, good health, and favor are bestowed upon them in return for their devotion. In addition, the Vodou that we know of today was shaped greatly by the Haitian Revolution at the turn of the 19th century. Many Vodouists took part in abolishing slavery and overthrowing the colonial French government at the time, thus transforming Saint-Dominique into Haiti. So, Vodou is ethical, per se. For the most part, yes, it is. If you've ever heard of Vodou before, it most likely wasn't shown in the most positive light. An exhibit done at the Canadian Museum of Civilization back in 2011 indicates that Vodou was the victim of a cultural disinformation campaign. This comes in the form of various books and movies portraying Vodou as inhuman, evil, even grim. These forms of media started appearing during the occupation of Haiti by the United States Marine Corps between 1915 and 1934. By mapping out these depictions of Vodou over time, the museum was able to demonstrate the deliberateness of the spread of this discrediting information. An example film is White Zombie, a title that showed Vodou peoples who resisted foreign control as outright monsters. Furthermore, early on, Vodou was confused with some secret societal religions that were associated with dark magic and such. Their practices include rituals that are specifically designed to cause harm. Vodou is not like that. Quite the opposite, in fact. Things like curses, love spells, and revengeful rituals fall outside of the domain of all that is Vodou. Something that does exist in Vodou, however, is animal sacrifice in rare ceremonies. We believe that it is done ethically because they eat all of the meat afterwards, and is therefore no different from buying meat in grocery stores. Really, it might be better, considering there are questionable mass production slaughters that happen to put food in grocery stores. But the Vodou people do this out of offering, not as some kind of gruesome obsession with death of an animal. Schweitzer's final criteria for what makes an acceptable worldview is optimism. Is the worldview optimistic? A passing worldview in this category creates hope for a peaceful and prosperous future. Haitian Vodou meets this criterion, as Vodouists believe that they receive protection and blessings from Bon Dieu, or Bon Dieu in French, which is God, through rituals. They form a relationship with Iwa to communicate with the invisible, hoping to ask for advice, protection, or assistance. As opposed to being pessimistic, Vodou is a confidently optimistic worldview because they see better days ahead and refrain from thinking negatively. Ultimately, their worldview is optimistic because they believe in the betterment of humankind and see things like death as another step to life. In conclusion, we believe that Vodou is an acceptable worldview because it believes in hope for one's future, has pure intentions that are not immoral, and chooses to believe in fighting for human rights. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel and tell us what you think about this worldview in the comment section. Peace.